we have a psychotic addiction to colonial definitions of what...
Welcome to Canid Africa, truthful, unapologetic. We start a video. Today's video is proudly sponsored by GetBundi. GetBundi is a digital African platform where you can learn trending, practical skills that can land you your dream job today. So for more on GetBundi, please make sure to watch this video till the end.
The intervention in Iraq was couched in very benign terms. The intervention in Libya was couched in benign terms. I could give you 100 interventions where the justification, objectively speaking, was on the basis that there was evidence either of genocide or evidence. I'm sitting in Rwanda. The international community stood by as the genocide against the Tutsi happened. Yet in the same year, they were intervening in West Africa. The construct of benign and malign is controlled and related to the question of narrative and strategic self-interest. We've often not paid enough attention, and thank you, Chairperson of the African Union, for educating us on how the international fora of decision-making, the Security Council, and other fora, including at some stage, how we transact within the International Criminal Court and other platforms. That evidence, and that was my point, we don't control data, we don't control digital platforms, we therefore are not controlling narrative in both analog and digital forms. What can practically be done? We do need to speak to Europeans, not as victims, because the erasure of the contribution in European consciousness of Africans to modernity and civility has constructed a white supremacist view that sees the evolution of modernity as a singularly European contribution. And it is only now that our young researchers are beginning to excavate the contributions of Black people, of Africans, towards inventions. Because until now, the province of economy was not the province of Black people. In my country, in Zimbabwe, when land was taken, a British court gave a judgment that said, the question before them and who owned the land, they said, one thing is certain, it cannot be the native because the native has no sense of ownership. It was on that basis that land was taken. Number two, on the question of economics, even we pejoratively only talk about our people as informal law, informal economy, yet the informal economy is formal. That's how India developed through its cottage industry. That's how we have a psychotic addiction to colonial definitions of what, and that's why Professor Ashraf is correct. It's not just a narrative about our contribution historically. It's a narrative about our contribution now. Our young people who developed M-Pesa, which is now being used globally, who developed Ushahidi, which has been used by over 300,000 organizations, including the Japanese, the US military, and the NATO forces, are never sufficiently credited. Why? Because it is not in the current psyche of most Europeans possible that Africans are anything else except the object of charity that deserve our mercy and our pity. Why? Because they are governed by tyrants, right? Or Africans are incapable of ethics. And we've constantly said that Switzerland, which received the Abacha loot, which received the loot from the then Zaire and now DRC, has constantly been ranked in anti-corruption indices as the cleanest country in the world. PLO and I are lawyers. The receipt of stolen property is theft at law. How is it that you will have Nigeria and Kenya ranked so far, and yet the country that receives the money ranked so up? I think that if you're changing narrative, you also have to change behavior. Our African leaders and citizens constantly confirm the European caricature, an object of pity. When we come into this spaces, we can never transact revolution in courtesy. I like to be civil, to be courteous, right? But each time I start pointing to atrocities committed by African governments, the Europeans and the Americans cheer me up. Each time I refer to the historical atrocities and continuing atrocities committed first by governments and by companies that are dumping cyanide into our underground water and nuclear waste, right? You know what it is said? This is retrogressive. It's undermining investment. It's again, listen, we cannot win the narrative battle by arguing in pockets.
That has been our candid speech. The whole point of our candid speech is for us to discuss what you understood about the speech and for us to come up with our own perspectives about the speech. So before we finish this video, we'll mention our good sponsors, Get Bundi. Please watch this video to learn more about Get Bundi.
Hi everyone, we're the Get Bundi team. Have you heard about us yet? Get Bundi is an education technology company that has built an education online platform to help massify STEM learning in our secondary schools across Africa, as well as digital skills for all who want to learn the new language as knowledge economy globally. Yes, this is our mission.
Do you know that by 2030, there'll be nearly 300 million digital skills vacancies in Africa?
Do you know that you can learn digital skills in under 6 months on the Get Bundi platform?
Courses and assignments prepared by the very best educators in the world.
The future is in technology. The future is in your hands.
Sign up today at www.getbundi.com and start learning any digital skill of your choice like coding, cybersecurity, video editing,
Graphic design,
Machine learning.
Search engine optimization, and so many more.
stay in Africa and work for companies overseas and earn money in foreign currencies.
there are too many jobs chasing very few people with digital skills.
Start your journey today on www.getbundi.com.
Learn a skill today on Get Bundi and become the job you're searching for.
Building a new Africa based on technology.
Yeah, so before we leave, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's the best way, especially that like button and the notification bell. It's the best way for YouTube to know this is a good video and to recommend it to more like-minded people like you, okay? And with that said, it's been Mike Mushi from Tunachiki. And always remember, Africa is watching.